everyone, my name is Cait and thank you so much for joining us today for a 1 hour full body workout. We're going to go through 8 different sections. We're going to start with a nice warm up and then we're going to alternate between doing 3 circuits and 3 high intensity interval training exercises, and then we're going to finish off with a nice cool down. So for the majority of these exercises, if you want to add weights, of course go ahead, but you don't need any equipment. All you need, if you have, is a mat and an open space. So let's get started. Alrighty, let's get started with our warm-up. Our first warm-up exercise is high knees. For this exercise, you're going to start standing tall. You're going to alternate lifting your knee up past your hip. We're going to do this for 45 seconds. Our next exercise is alternating toe touches. Start this by standing tall, feet shoulder width apart. You're going to expand your hands out, reach down and touch your toes, and alternate as you come back up, reaching down to touch the opposite toe. Continue this for 45 seconds. Our next warm-up activity is going to be butt kicks. For this exercise, you're going to start with your feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to alternate kicking our right heel, then our left heel, towards our glute region. We're going to do this for 45 seconds. Our next warm-up activity is going to be for our arms. We're going to do arm circles. For this exercise, you're going to stand shoulder width apart. You're going to raise your arms up to your sides, and we're going to rotate them counterclockwise for 45 seconds. Don't worry, we're going to do the other direction later. For our next exercise, we're on to jumping jacks. Start with your feet together. You're going to jump your feet apart and lift your arms up to your head. Jump back and lower your arms. Repeat this for 45 seconds. Next, we're gonna do arm circles. Now that we're all warmed up, let's take a 15-second break. And then we're gonna get started on our first circuit. For this one, we're gonna be doing arms and chest. Our first exercise for our circuit is gonna be a bent over chest fly. If you have weights, of course, you can add them for this exercise. We're going to start off by standing with our knees slightly bent. You want to keep your back flat and bend forward at your hips. We're going to lift both of our arms and squeeze our shoulder blades together. Our next exercise will be in and out arm extension. These ones may look simple, but when they're done properly, you will feel the burn. For this exercise, we're going to start in a standing position. You're going to lift your arms up in front of you, bring them back down, and then to the side. We're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. Moving on to our next exercise, we're going to do tricep dips. For this one, you will need to either have a dresser, coffee table, a chair, a bed, anything that you have available for yourself. For our tricep dips, we're going to start with our arms extended straight out, holding on to the chair or bed, ground if you don't have anything else. Our feet are going to be straight out in front of us, and we're going to slowly lower down, engaging our tricep muscles. You're going to push back up, and we're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. If this is too difficult, of course you can move your feet closer, and it will ease up a little bit on this exercise. Moving on to our next exercise, we're going to do push-ups. Start on the floor, and you're going to come into a plank position, either on your knees or your toes. We're going to lower our body and bend our elbows until our chest is near the floor. Push back up and straighten your elbows. We're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. We're going to rest for 15 seconds and move on to our plank up downs. For this exercise, you're going to start in a plank position with your arms straight. You're going to alternate between going down to your right elbow, then your left, and then back up to that full plank position that we started with. We're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. We're going to move on to our next exercise. It's going to be a downward dog with a scapula push-up. For this exercise, you're going to start in downward dog position. You can slightly bend your knees if needed. We're going to come into our plank position, and you're going to let your scapula retract and feel that drop down. Then you're going to push back up through your scapula, and we're going to come back into our initial position of downward facing dog. We're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. Take a 15-second break, and then we're going to go on to our next exercise, which is side plank. We're going to do this on both sides, so don't worry. Starting on our right side, we're going to hold our body in a straight line. You can either do this on your elbow and forearm, or if you'd like, you can have your arms straight. We're going to hold here for 45 seconds. If you need to, keep in mind you can drop down to your knee. We're going to now move on to our left side. Again, your arm can be bent, or you can have straight arm during this exercise. And again, if it's too hard to go onto your feet, then drop down to your knee. Again, we're going to hold for 45 seconds. Alright guys, take a break because we're moving on to our first high intensity interval training section. This is going to be our first HIIT workout. We're going to start with a jump squat. So to start this exercise, you're going to have your feet hip width apart. We're going to hinge forward, lowering our butt back until it's parallel with the floor. You're going to straight leg jump as high as you can, land in a squat, and we're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. take a breather for 15 seconds because we're moving on to our next exercise. We're going to be doing skater jumps. For this exercise, you're going to start in a standing position. We're going to actually bound from one side to the other. So it's landing in a single leg squat. You can jump high across, but as you land, I want you to sink back down into your leg and really get that stretch. Moving into our next exercise, we're going to be doing burpees. So you can do this exercise with or without push-ups if you'd like. We're going to start in a standing position. Jump up to the sky, and as you land into a deep squat, you're going to bring your hands to the floor. Jump both your feet back into a plank position. We're going to hold here. If you want, you can do a push-up. If not, then just hang out there. And then we're going to jump back into our initial squat position, standing up tall, and repeat. Our next exercise is an alternating lunge with a knee thrust. We're going to begin this exercise with our feet together. Take one large step backwards into a lunge position. We're going to push off with our back leg and drive our knee up past our hip. Lower back down. And then we're going to switch, so sending that other leg back, push up, and come back down. We're going to alternate this for 45 seconds. We are on to circuit number 2. For this section, we're going to be working our abdominal muscles and our back. Our first exercise for this circuit is a 3-part crunch. We're going to start laying on our back with our knees bent. The first part of our crunch, we're only going to come up a little bit. You don't want to bring your scapula all the way off the ground. We'll lower back down. Next, we're going to come about halfway, lower back down. And for the third part of our crunch, we're going to come fully into a sit position, and you're going to come up to your bent knees. You're going to lower all the way back down, and we're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. Next, we're going to move on to flutter kicks. For this exercise, you're going to start flat on your back. Place your hands underneath your butt if you need to, and we're going to make sure our back is pressed flat into the ground. This will make sure that we engage our core. Next, you're going to lift your feet off the ground and you're going to flutter back and forth. Make sure you do not place your feet onto the ground, and we're going to continue this for 45 seconds. take a quick 15-second break here because we're moving on to Russian twists. For this exercise, you're going to be seated on the floor with your knees bent. You're going to lean back so your torso and your knees make a V shape with your legs. We're going to alternate twisting from the right to the left, and we're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. If needed, you can always drop your knees down and they don't have to hover. Next, we're going to do leg raises. To start this exercise, we're going to be lying flat on our back. Your back is going to be pressed into the ground, and you can place your hands under your butt again if needed. We're going to raise our legs straight out in front of us, engaging our core, and lift both legs up to about 45 degrees. We're going to then lower them back down, but do not touch the floor, and we're going to repeat this cycle for 45 seconds. Moving on to our next exercise, we're going to do Supermans. We're going to start this exercise by laying on our stomach. We're going to extend our arms straight overhead, and as you lift your arms and legs off the floor about 5 inches, we're going to hold and lower them back down. We're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. For our last exercise of this circuit, we're going to do reverse snow angels. To begin this exercise, you're going to lay on your stomach. We're going to lift our arms up above our head, and we're going to rotate our arms all the way to our side and back out in front of our head. And you're wanting to make sure that your scapula is engaged the whole time. So slightly try and squeeze your scapula, the blades of your scapula together. We're going to continue this for 45 seconds. Take a 1-minute break and grab some water. We're halfway through our workout. Moving on to our second HIIT segment. We're going to start with plank jacks. We're going to start this exercise in a plank position on our toes and our forearms, or you can even do your toes in your hands. We're going to jump our feet in and out as if we're doing a jumping jack. You want to make sure that you're engaging your core this whole time so we can keep a flat back. We're going to continue this for 45 seconds. Moving on to our shoulder taps, we're going to take a 15-second break here and then start this exercise. Again, we're going to start in our plank position. You can be on your toes and your hands, and we're going to shift our weight from side to side. We're going to lift our hand up and tap our shoulder and bring it back down, and we're going to alternate this for 45 seconds. Alright guys, we're almost through this section. We're going to move on to our lovely mountain climbers. We're going to start this exercise in a plank position on your hands and your toes, and we're going to alternate crunching our left knee towards our right elbow, back out into our plank position, and then our right knee to our left elbow. We're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. Our last exercise in this section is our plank rotations. Starting in a plank position, you can either be on your elbows or straight arm, and then you're going to be up on your toes. If it's too much though, of course, drop down to your knees. We're going to alternate bringing our arm straight out and rotating through our thoracic region. As you bring your arm back down and come back into our initial plank position, we're going to alternate and bring our other arm up and try and see if you can touch the sky. We're going to alternate through this for 45 seconds. Take a quick break here. Next, we're moving on to our third circuit section. We're going to start off here with some bridges. For a glute bridge, we're going to start laying on our back. Bend your knees up so your ankles are near your bum. We're going to press our feet into the ground and lift our hips up. Squeeze through your glute region as you lower back down gently, and then we're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. Next, we're gonna do our hamstring bridge walkouts. For this exercise, you're gonna start in our bridge position. We're gonna walk our heels out as far as we can while maintaining our bum off the ground. You're gonna walk your heels back in, and we're gonna continue this for 45 seconds. You wanna make sure that you're digging your heels into the ground for this exercise to make sure that we're engaging our hamstrings. Moving on to our calf raises. For this exercise, you can either do double leg or single leg, but for today we're going to do double leg. So starting in a standing position, your feet are going to be hip width apart. We're going to raise up onto our toes, squeeze through our calves, hold for 1 second at the top of this, and lower back down with control. We're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. Way to go, guys. We're over halfway done now. Our next exercise is going to be sumo squats. For this exercise, we're going to start with our feet slightly wider than hip width apart. We're going to turn our feet out, and you want to push your hips back into that deep squat position. You want to make sure that your chest is lifted up. And we're going to squeeze through our glutes and return to our standing position and repeat. Moving on to our side lunges. This is going to be our last exercise of this section, but we want to make sure that we're doing both sides. So we'll start with our right. In a standing position, we're going to take a large step out to the right. We're going to bend our knee as we squat down and sink into our leg. Come on back as we press through, and then we'll sink back down again. We're going to do this for 45 seconds and then switch over to our left. For our left side, we're going to do our side lunges. Same thing apply. We're going to take a large step over, sink back into that side, send your bum back, and then press through the ground, coming back to our standing position, and then we're going to drop down and repeat on this side for 45 seconds. Moving on to our last section of our high intensity workout before we start our cool down. Our first exercise of this section is quick toe taps. We're going to start this exercise by standing at the end of our mat. We're going to take 2 quick steps forward, tapping the mat as we do so, and then stepping back. We're going to repeat this for 45 seconds. Next, we're going to do our jumping lunges. We're going to start standing with our feet shoulder width apart. We're going to jump our left leg forward and then send our right leg back into a lunge position. We're going to keep both knees at 90 degrees, jump and switch our legs mid-air. You're going to land into a lunge position, so your legs should never be extended during this part. We're going to continue this for 45 seconds. Our next exercise is a standing cross crunch. We're going to start this exercise by standing up straight, our feet hip width apart, and we're going to rotate, bringing our elbow to our knee and alternate. You want to make sure that you're rotating your torso as you bend to the right and as you bring your right knee to your left elbow, and then we're going to go to the opposite side and alternate back for this complete set. Moving on to our next exercise, we're going to do squat jacks. For this exercise, we're going to start with our feet together. We're going to jump out and spread our feet apart, and as we do so, we're going to bend our knees and press our hips back, sinking into that lovely squat position. You're going to land in a squat, so your knees will never be hyperextended, and then we're going to hop back, bringing our feet together, and repeat. Our last exercise for our high intensity workout is going to be a squat up down. To start this exercise, we're going to start in a kneeling position. We're going to bring our right knee up, and as we do so, our left knee will follow, and this will result us in a crouched squat position. You're not going to stand up fully during this. You want to maintain that crouch. And then after this, we're going to hold and bring our right knee back down to the ground. Our left will follow and return to our initial kneeling position. We're going to alternate going through this for 45 seconds. If you'd like, halfway through, you can switch and bring your left knee forward first, the right will follow in our crouch position, and then drop down accordingly. We're going to start here with a bicep stretch. Standing tall, we're going to interlace our fingers behind our back and lift both arms up to the sky. You're going to feel a nice stretch through your biceps. We're going to hold here for 30 seconds. At this section, we're going to be cooling down, so you want to focus on breathing. Our next stretch is going to be for our triceps. We're going to have to do each one individual. So standing up tall, we're going to reach our left arm and bring our elbow right down our back. Relax, and now we're going to switch to our right side. Again, bringing our elbow up, we're going to feel that nice pull in our triceps. See how far you can reach your hand down your back during this exercise. And again, remember to focus on your breathing. Deep breathing is what we want here. Next, we're going to move on to our lateral side bend. For this exercise, we will have to do both sides as well. So standing up tall, we're going to reach our arms up to the sky. You can interlace your fingers if you want, and you're going to slowly bend to the side. Here, we're really going to feel a nice stretch through our obliques. And again, focusing on that breathing as we cool down from our exercise. Coming back to the center, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you can keep your arms interlaced if you'd like. And we're going to bend to the opposite side. And again, you're going to feel a nice pull all the way down your side. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, see if you can push a little further into the stretch. Moving on to our quadricep muscles. We're going to bend one of our legs, and you can cradle your ankle in your arm. If you need support for this, of course, hold on to anything, a wall, dresser, anything you have. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can actually push your heel as if you're trying to kick through, but your arm won't let you because you have a pretty good grip around your ankle. And this way you're going to activate your quads and you'll feel a nice stretch. We're going to switch over to the other side and do the exact same thing. Again, kicking up your leg and holding your ankle in your arm. You'll feel a nice stretch down the front of your thigh. We're going to hold here for 30 seconds. our next stretch for today is going to be a downward facing dog. We're going to come into that plank position and then push our bum back to the sky and feel our hamstrings pull. If it's too much for you, of course, you can slightly bend your knees to take a little bit of that pressure off. If the stretch is nice, just sink into it. We're going to hold here for 30 seconds. Moving into our child's pose. We're going to come back to the ground. We're going to let our head get heavy and our bum sink back into the ground. Our legs will be bent and you want to have your arms extended in front of you. This way you're going to get a nice pull through your lower back. We're going to hold here, but again, it's important that you want your breathing to be slower than what it was during our high intensity exercises. Next, we're going to move into our frog stretch. Again, you're going to be down on the floor. You're going to open your hips up as best you can. You're going to actually point your toes out to each side, and you want to rock back and forth a little bit until you sink your bum back. You're going to feel a nice stretch in your inner thighs. We're going to hold here for 30 seconds. Next, we're going to move on to our split stretch. You can go down as far as you can. We're going to open both legs up and see if you can touch the ground in the center. Once you've done this, we're going to lean over to one side and see if you can touch your left toes. Again, we're going to want to focus on breathing here. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, see if you can reach a little further. Don't be discouraged though if you can't reach your toes. It's just as best you can. As long as you're feeling a nice stretch, that's all we care about. And now we're going to move over to the other side and do the exact same thing. Again, here it's important to remember to keep breathing. If you can't reach your toes, that's okay. Just do the best you can. Coming into our butterfly stretch. We're going to be seated, our chest open up tall, and we're going to bend both of our knees and push the bottom of our feet together. Here you can bounce your knees up and down a little bit and try and push your knees into the ground as best you can. If you can't push them to the ground, don't worry. It's not what this stretch is for. It's just going to be opening up your hip flexors. We're going to hold here for 30 seconds. Moving on, we're going to do a toe reach for both sides. We're going to start by tucking our one foot close to our inner thigh and pushing it into that thigh. Our other leg will be outstretched in front of us. And what you want to do is try and lean forward, keeping your chest up tall, and bend and try and touch your toes. If you can't touch your toes, don't be discouraged. As long as you're feeling that stretch, that's all that we care about. Moving on now, we're gonna extend our leg that was just curled and bring our other foot in, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Again, focusing on breathing here, and we're gonna push and see if we can touch our toes. Our next stretch for today is going to be a figure 4 stretch. We're going to start in a seated position. You're going to bend your one leg and let it rest on the top of your thigh, making a 4 with your legs. You're going to slowly roll onto your back, keeping that 4 position. With your hands, you're going to gently reach through and grab your leg and pull towards your chest. You'll feel a nice stretch in your piriformis muscle. We're going to hold here for 30 seconds before switching to the other side. Moving on to the other side of our piriformis stretch, we're going to bring our other foot that we were just stretching and let it rest on the top of our thigh. We're going to roll back onto our back and gently pull our knee towards our chest. Feel that nice stretch through your glute region, and we're going to hold here for 30 seconds. Moving on to our last stretch of our session today, we're going to do a calf stretch. For this one, you will need a wall if you have it, or a dresser, or anything that you can prop your foot against. We're going to slowly lean it towards the wall as you feel a nice stretch up through your calf. We will alternate to the other one after this, but hold here for 30 seconds. Moving on to the other side, we're again going to bring our foot that we're trying to get a nice stretch on our calf towards the wall and let our toes bend towards the sky. Slowly try and hug the wall and feel that nice stretch up through your calf. We're going to hold here for 30 seconds again. So that concludes our 1 hour full body workout. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you so much for joining us. If you want, you can follow us at Trent Health and Motion on Instagram for more home videos coming soon. Thank you so much and take care, guys.